It's almost!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good...
Hello and welcome. You're watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, the financial review of the Indian Premier League for the year 2023 is out, and guess what? The profit margin alone is many times more than what Pakistan cricket earns in a year. Their budget, in fact. How is the BCCI becoming the most dominant force for cricket in the world? Now, we've heard of false identity, but what about a whole team behaving as imposters? A team masqueraded as one from Colombia in a basketball tournament held in Russia. Colombia Federation is furious. More details on in the show. And can Formula One make a pit stop in its vibrant calendar to a city in Africa, the only continent in the world that doesn't have a race to its name? Lewis Hamilton is leading the charge for this. But first, a look at the headlines. Indian javelin ace Neeraj Chopra clinched silver in the Lausanne Diamond League. He recorded a sensational throw of 89.49 meters, bettering his earlier one at Paris, which was 89.45 meters, the second best throw of his career so far. Chopra was defeated by Grenada's Anderson Peters, who recorded a throw of 90.61 meters. In tennis, veteran Ons Jabeur of Tunisia has pulled out of the US Open with a shoulder injury. Jabeur had withdrawn from the City Open earlier this month and had also missed the Paris Olympics. England's cricket board announced details of home matches for the next season. The iconic Lords will host a women's test for the first time. The match will be played between India and England in the year 2026. England will also play tests against India and Zimbabwe in the summer of 2025. And two of India's oldest football clubs, Mohun Bagan and East Bengal, are set to face each other on September 2nd. The match will be held in Lucknow in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. The Kolkata derby was earlier scheduled for the 18th of August but was cancelled due to a combined protest of the two fans for the rape and murder victim. And Cristiano Ronaldo's potential winning goal for Saudi Arabia Al Nassr in the Saudi Pro League opener was disallowed by the video assistant referee, or VAR, for offside. The match against Al Raid ended 1-1 despite Ronaldo initially putting Al Nassr ahead with a header in the first half. Ronaldo scored his 50th goal in 48 Saudi Pro League games with this header. He set a league record last season with 35 goals. But his first goal of the new season was overshadowed by the VAR decision. Now, there are talks between the IPL Governing Council and various teams already just on how to move forward. What changes can be made to the auction this time around? Are we talking IPL again so soon, you may ask? Did it not just get over just some months ago? Also true, but I'm talking about IPL 2023. Why? Because of this. The last edition set a huge benchmark for any cricket property the world over. BCCI was already doing the right things when they launched the league. They made tight rules that would ensure this will grow, ensuring key Indian players, the current lot, would not play elsewhere. That's holding on to a currency and smartly popularizing IPL. This having a sense of exclusivity, getting the right tenders and ensuring the owners were ones who would stay for the long haul, weeding out the unpredictable ones, keeping a robust model that has potential to only grow, keeping the expansion at the heart of it. So now we have a 10-team affair that is fiercely contested and just as intense, thereby strengthening grassroots and the statewide fan base. All of that results in profits. So what have those been? BCCI has earned over 5,000 crore rupees, that's $600 million for IPL 2023, which happens to be 116% more than the previous year, the year before. The surge in revenue is, of course, largely due to the new media deals that kicked in last year. where digital rights skyrocketed, surpassing the TV rights. But here's the interesting part of this news. BCCI and IPL have earned more than what Pakistan cricket's annual earnings amount to, their budget for the year. Shocking, yet predictable. Pakistan's financial health when it comes to cricket, not entirely transparent at the moment, is in the doldrums. Reports suggest that PCB's annual income, even with its share from the ICC and domestic cricket tournaments, amount to somewhere close to BCCI's profit earned from IPL. So what's the number approximately? PCB's revenue, of course, that includes player contracts, media rights for domestic leagues such as PSL, which is the Pakistan Super League, and ICC distributions, might hover around 500 to 600 crore. That's a little over $72 million only annually, a figure that is nowhere close to BCCI's IPL 2023 profit, which was double of what BCCI made in 2022 with the IPL. So it's not even close to the profit earned in the year prior to that. What does this say? Complete disparity in the economic structure when it comes to world cricket. Now you can go ahead and include the other countries in the subcontinent, neighbors to India, in this comparison as well. Bangladesh just lost an ICC World Cup hosting right. Afghanistan has no cricket at home. Sri Lanka last hosted a World Cup more than 10 years ago. This also proves what a heavyweight India is when it comes to dominance in cricket. The T20 World Cup that concluded in USA and West Indies just some months ago incurred losses, massive losses for ICC to bear, but not IPL and not BCCI. And with reports of BCCI Secretary Jay Shah possibly taking over the reins at ICC, doing the rounds, the position India holds when it comes to cricket is only bound to get stronger. The classic Hollywood movies are either about superheroes, a magical love story that has reignited the love-struck audiences, or a crime thriller. A story about an agent, possibly. The movie takes a tricky turn when the main character turns out to be a double agent. Had allegiance to an arch rival. In other words, a spy movie. Now, real life seems to be taking inspiration from the real life. A similar script played out in Russia at a basketball tournament. That's right, in the Russian city Perm, a basketball tournament called Friendship Cup was taking place. The listed teams for the tournament are national teams from Russia, Venezuela, Colombia, and a domestic club, BC Parma. So here's the twist. The team listed on paper as Colombia was not really Colombia. A team that had not even the remotest connection to Colombia usurped the name, the logo, the flag, the colors, and masqueraded as the Colombian national team. The Colombia Basketball Federation is livid, and they're threatening to take legal action against the perpetrators. Now, following that statement, it was clear that the team pretending to be from Colombia were indeed imposters. Did Russia, the organizers, have no clue about this deceitful act? President of the Russian Basketball Federation, who also happens to be a former NBA player, Andrei Kirilenko's statement, in fact, only added more fuel to the fire.
We would like to emphasize that all our interactions with the Colombian team took place exclusively through official communication channels. Our position remains unchanged. All communications and coordination are conducted only through verified and official sources.
Now, Kirilenko's statement clearly proves all is not right. He claims that Russia didn't do anything without checking, and the invitation went through proper channels. But here's the thing. The team pretending to be from Colombia were appalling in the two matches they played. The team was routed 155 to 53 by BC Parma, a Russian club side. And then in the second game, Team Colombia was hammered by Venezuela 108 to 57. Well, one thing they were getting right, which was they were consistent. I'll give them that. But in all seriousness, I understand in sports there are one-sided matches. Not every team has equal standards, and sometimes even the best have the very off day. We've seen that. But after these matches, Colombia were also supposed to face Russia, a game that was cancelled by the Russian Federation. The reason? They cited Colombia's abysmal performance as one.
After the first game, we understand that the current level of the Colombian team is lagging behind. In this regard, we have already revised the schedule and format of the tournament to ensure a more balanced and competitive competition.
So basically what they're saying is that they revised the whole format right in the middle of the tournament, saying they needed a more competitive and evenly fought contest. Maybe the Russian team didn't want to face the pretend Colombia side. This would have raised more questions on the already dubious saga. This reminds me of a Sri Lanka handball team from the past. In 2004, a 23-member Sri Lanka handball side arrived in Germany to take part in a sports exchange program. The team was supposed to play local clubs to improve their game, get better, but it took just one match to raise eyebrows over the standard of this Sri Lankan side. They looked completely out of sorts, unaware of the rules, and even clueless as to how to compete. A national team not knowing the rules of a sport is rather dubious. But before the organizers could find out more, the whole team completely vanished. Now, a note was found by the organizers where the Sri Lankan team said they were leaving for France. But here's the best part: the Sri Lankan government later said that they weren't even aware that a national team of handball even existed. So clearly, those were some individuals pretending to be handball players just to get out of Sri Lanka and enter Europe. But in the case of the basketball team here, pretending to be from Colombia, the team is very much still here, leading me to think that one of Russia or Colombia Federation is not keeping their end up. Maybe some more information will trickle out in the days to come that could clear up a very muggy picture for us all. Now, Africa remains the only continent that doesn't host a Formula One race. However, its comeback is being considered by the organizers. If plans materialize, Rwanda could host a Grand Prix. After being away from action for many decades, Africa is hoping that it gets to reclaim its place in Formula One as well. The push to bring it back there isn't just about ticking a box, it's about correcting an oversight and ensuring the sport includes and sticks to that goal of inclusivity. And championing this cause, of course, is Formula One great Lewis Hamilton, whose recent trip to the continent was a wake-up call.
Despite Formula One's global appeal, Africa has remained absent from the F1 calendar. Its tryst with motorsport may not be particularly rich, but it still has some highlights. Like the South African Grand Prix, which was held from 1962 to 1993 in Kyalami. That was the only time the world's second largest continent witnessed any F1 race. But talks are now heating up for its comeback. Formula One organizers are considering an African pit stop on the calendar. If plans materialize, the East African nation of Rwanda could host a Formula One race. A meeting is scheduled next month where Rwandan officials will be discussing the matter. A green light would not only add to Formula One's outreach geographically, but also reconnect Africa to the sport and add another dimension to an otherwise vibrant sporting culture. It would tap into fan engagement, bring Africa economic impetus via tourism and sport, potentially create ripple effects that other sectors responsible in a country's growth would benefit from. And this is not just a claim, but a well-documented reality. West Asian countries are proof of that. Sports tourism in the region is already a $600 billion industry, and Formula One race circuits of Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Abu Dhabi are major contributing factors to this. When the Las Vegas GP was held last year, it reportedly generated a $1.5 billion tourism boost for the region. If Formula One can thrive in packed circuits in West Asia, Europe and America, it stands to reason that Africa would welcome this with open arms. The most recent additions to the calendar were two Grand Prix in the US, the Miami GP in 2022 and Las Vegas in 2023. The current roster contains a total of 24 races. As the pursuit of F1 expansion continues, Africa, which hasn't hosted an F1 race in over 30 years, stands as the next logical frontier. And the trigger has been Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton. He has echoed these sentiments. While other drivers chose to chill and unwind during the break, Hamilton travelled through Africa. He met and interacted with many kids and refugees. When he returned, he opened up about how confronting reality on the ground hit him way harder than reading headlines or watching news clips.
We can't be adding races in other locations and continue to ignore Africa, which the rest of the world just takes from. No one gives anything to Africa. I think having a Grand Prix there will really be able to highlight just how great the place is and bring in tourism and all sorts of things. Why are we not on that continent? And the current excuse is that there's not a track that's ready, but there is at least one track that's ready there.
The 7-time world champion also said he has been working behind the scenes. He is in touch with Rwandan officials to push for the inclusion of F1 in Africa. It's not the first time F1's comeback to Africa is getting discussed. Hamilton has continuously vouched for Formula One's comeback there. However, financial constraints remain a major roadblock. According to Formula One's chief executive, Rwandan officials have a concrete proposal in their hands. It's time for Formula One to embrace Africa and tap into a different landscape that will only add to Formula One's diverse calendar.
Time for last serve. Now, it's great to see entertainment and sport coming together. We caught a glimpse of it when pop star Ed Sheeran celebrated his ownership stake in an English soccer team in Ipswich Town, nicknamed Tractor Boys. Now, why are we ending with this, though? It's because of the way Ed Sheeran announced his stake. The clue is in the club's nickname. One thing's certain, that football club will definitely dish out entertaining stuff on and off the field. But that wraps up Firstpost here today. I'll see you again after this weekend. Do have a lovely couple of days. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.